Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the boys are back in town. This is Casually Spike. I am your host, Dakota Marker, and with me are my friends, Jaron Denham.
I have survived my sickness.
Devin Harrison.
I haven't.
Oh.
And Bill Gantz.
Potatoes.
This is the memorial podcast because Devin didn't make it through his sickness.
He didn't make it through your sickness.
Technically speaking, I'm still sick, but I don't feel it.
Not feeling it,
Fair
Mr.
enough.
I'm not feeling it, Mr. Krabs. Anyway, so, Jaron, what do we got for the show today?
We have a really lazy show today. We're talking about Amonkhet spoilers, our Modern Masters experience.
Yay!
And we have a new launch this week, so we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, well, alright.
Semi-launch.
Semi-launch. It's a newer launch. It's a side launch. Yeah.
So, I guess we'll start off with the Amonkhet spoilers. We've seen... Do you want to do the masterpieces first or second?
I would like to talk about Ancient Mew.
Okay.
Okay, so I believe that the foiling process of Ancient Mew is still second to none. The unfortunate part is you still need opaque sleeves in order to play your Ancient Mew in your tournament legal 60 card Pokemon deck.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah. Regardless of which, we got Loyal Retainers as the most expensive projected card in the spoilers for the new masterpieces.
See, that's interesting, because I would have pegged it as Force of Will, like, right off the top.
Loyal Retainers only has 2 printings.
True.
Yes. And one of those was extremely limited, which was the Commander's Arsenal.
Well, really, both of them were extremely limited, because the English Portal 3 Kingdoms was only printed in, like, Australia.
Right. So, Loyal Retainers is actually a lot more rare than what Force of Will would be.
I guess that's true.
Yes.
That's just interesting.
Yes.
And I mean, to be fair, Loyal Retainers, like, is probably one of the most powerful EDH cards, because you can just pitch your Avacyn and then get it back and have an Avacyn like turn 3.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so, because I know your opinion, let's hear it.
Alright, so, I think the new masterpieces are hideous. Like, I'm not talking in terms of the art. Like, the art's fine, like, it's Egypty, like, that's cool. Sweet. I'm talking about the frames, because let's break it down from the top to the bottom. And at the top, we've got the names, which they're printed in, like, papyrus type script, which, I get that. But the colors on the mana cost are muted, which makes them hard to read, kinda. And also, in the actual, like, name box, it's not just the name of the card. They also have, like, the little, like, Egyptian hieroglyphic type things, like, just scattered in with it. And that bugs me, because it makes it hard to read the name of the card.
Right.
And because of this next part, it's also smaller than I think the regular name boxes are.
Yeah.
And you go down on the card, and now the side borders for the art are thicker because they're like Egyptian pillars.
Yes.
And the pillars are where the actual color identifier of these masterpieces are. Which, by the way, I'm not a big fan of that either. Like the red ones look really weird compared to the others, because like, where in Egypt did we ever have red pillars? But the thing is too, because they're thicker, that means they have to shrink the art even smaller than it already is on regular Magic cards. So
just to let you know why half of us are distracted, Devin just looked up the price of Loyal Retainers on TCG Player.
This is Force of
Oh,
Will.
that's Force of Will?
Yeah, that's Force of Will.
Oh, Force of Will.
This is just from one store on TCG Player right now for their pre-order prices $330
$30?
and like $30.
for the Force Oil or
For the Force
Retainers?
Will.
Retainers like 40.
Oh, wow.
Well,
Somebody lied to me.
well, because the thing is, the retainers are pretty much only used in
Yeah.
Commander. Like, they're a very popular Commander card, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think, like, I have a Commander's Arsenal copy that one of my friends traded me, and I think at the time it was worth, like, maybe $25.
Yeah.
So I wasn't shocked to see
Huh.
because
Yeah, Force of Will being 330 is
Like,
definitely valuable.
because they're still foil.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
a foil Force of Will is a foil Force of Will.
And people are going to play the crap out of that.
Oh yeah. But you have the pillars that makes the small art, which already is distorted certain cards, such as Sorin, Get Off My Lawn, You Damn Kids, Nemesis.
Yep.
And makes it even smaller. And then you have the type line, which again, like the name box, is still like in papyrus, and it's still full of like those weird, still full of the hieroglyphs, which makes it hard to read too.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can see a lot of people getting confused about, especially since a lot of the masterpieces, they're called the invocations this time around, are spells. So I could see people like playing sorceries when at instant speed getting confused because you can't read the card.
Yeah. Like Chain Lightning.
Yeah. Or Maelstrom Pulse, but
Or
and I'm not a big
Command.
and I'm not a big fan of the symbol, like the set symbol just being like an indent on the card, really. Like it doesn't have like a special color or anything, or even like match the frame. The actual text box with like the rules text for the card, that's fine. I don't have any issues with that. I like how like they don't have any reminder text at all for stuff. Like I think that's kind of cool, especially for stuff like Wrath of God and like stuff with more advanced mechanics like any of the free spells like Force of Will or Daze. And I mean like and I just think like the whole presentation, it just doesn't it looks if you ask me, it looks like you asked someone to design a Magic card without actually showing them what it is, and then like they only know of card games from like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. And they're just like, design an Egypt-themed Magic card. It's like, okay.
See, I think once we have these in our possession, it'll be a lot better. Because I wasn't really sold on the masterpieces from Kaladesh until I actually saw one. Because I thought that the borders were just going to be like really weird, not like be what I was wanting. And then I played the Sol Ring, and it was absolutely the most gorgeous card I'd ever seen in my life.
I mean, like, and yeah, obviously the frame's gonna lend itself better to certain cards than to others. Like, I love I have two of the Invention Masterpieces, because I have I have the Noxious, or no, I have three, because I have Noxious Gearhulk, Solemn Simulacrum, and, Planar Bridge.
Yeah.
And it does kind of, the frame does look a little weird on the Planar Bridge, but the good thing about the Planar Bridge is just the art on the masterpiece itself is just so much cooler. So you don't mind the frame not looking as like cohesive, I guess.
Right.
But the thing is, one of the things that I thought was cool with the inventions was that the frame did fit with a lot of the art in those.
Yeah.
Because like a lot of the for example, all the Gearhulks were like this metallic yellow orangish color. Yeah. So like they didn't contrast with the frame all that much, and it kind of made it like it made it fit almost. And then even on the backgrounds of other cards, like obviously the Sol Ring is yellow orangish. Like Crucible Worlds has like a background that helps like the blue contrast it real good.
Right. Same with the Planar Bridge.
And the Planar Bridge too. Well, the Planar Bridge doesn't have much of a background because it's mostly just the bridge exploding, but not that that's a bad thing. But yeah, I'm just like I'm not a big fan of them. Like the frames themselves, like they'll probably look okay, but I just like my first impression is not good.
Yeah, I don't really blame you because when I first saw them, I wasn't too excited by how they looked.
I just think that like to me this is almost over designed. Like they were like, we need to make something big and flashy and cool looking for our Egyptian themed set, and then they just pumped too much into it.
The thing I actually like, I think I've mentioned this before. I know not on the podcast though. One of the things that I'm actually looking forward to, if they ever do it, is I want a Wild West theme.
I don't see why they. Well, the only issue is they got to figure out how to make guns work.
Yeah, and they don't want to make guns in the game because they're not magical.
Even though there is a rocket launcher in the game.
Yeah, but that's for another time. But it's one damage. Yeah, it's one damage completely, and then it just sacrifices itself in a turn. But like, I think that the masterpieces would look really cool if, like, in that set, if they just looked like they were the ground in sand, and you had like little pieces of like cloth, kind of like how these are, except they're the entire border, not the entire thing, but most of it, just on the sides. It's just that cloth that's tattered on the side.
See, like, because we talked about this on a previous episode, I think it would be cool if Atlazon is real. Their masterpieces, like, I think it would be cool if they had like theirs, like the frames decked out in like different colors of coral.
Ooh, that would be neat.
Like, wouldn't that look cool? And like, you could like just put in little details, like little starfishes or whatever, or like maybe little clams, pearls,
little scryfishes.
Yeah. They print a masterpiece scryfish,
and that's when people quit.
I mean,
every time you open a masterpiece scryfish, somebody cries and then they leave.
I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't want to
I'll buy it for
like.
$1.
Yep.
To be fair, like people didn't like opening masterpiece. What was it called? Tectonic Edges, but they still tolerated it. It wasn't like they quit the game over it.
The one I didn't like to open was Strip Mine.
Really?
Yes, because you could only play it in EDH or Vintage as a one-off. And I don't like that.
I mean, like, I think it's okay at least. Like the
especially since I'm sitting on like 30 Strip Mines.
Anyway, so yeah, the like it would be interesting to see what they're gonna do for other sets. So
it would be really neat. But anyway, do we want to go ahead and like?
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah, I guess we should go ahead and move on to the rest of the spoilers.
Well, I was actually going to mention that we're seeing Containment Freeze for the first time in booster packs.
Now, I mean, honestly, it's not. I don't think it's like none of these cards are really like format warping, other than the free counter spells, and even that's just kind of like a one. Like that'll happen once, and that's it.
I'm also fairly irritated that we're getting Dark Ritual as one of these.
Well, I mean, see, I'm sad with the choices because there's like no green cards except for like a cup. Like I think the only green card is Maelstrom Pulse.
Yeah, you're right, it is.
And that makes me upset because green is my favorite color.
And
meanwhile, we got 15 counter spells because
apparently invocations.
But like, we couldn't invocate like something like a Genesis Wave or even a Rampant Growth. I mean, if we're gonna get Spell Pierce,
we're in the desert.
Okay,
we use irrigation. We can't have Rampant Growth in a desert.
Well, I mean, like, it's got to be green somehow.
They get giant spiders somehow.
Yeah, I know, right? We also have a cat snake.
Yeah, we have cat snakes, but we can't have Rampant Growth. No, it hurts. We decided on this. We went to a committee. We debated back and forth. We posted memes.
We did.
We posted memes, Jared.
I posted memes.
The memes are important.
I posted meme.
And we decided at the end of the Serpopard Caucus that her was the official noise that the Serpopard makes. And of course we're talking about our friend Prowling Serpopard. This is a 1 green rare cat snake. It can't be countered, and creature spells you control can't be countered. It's a 4/3. Because, Gaia's Herald wasn't good enough.
For
1 green.
4/3.
4/3 for 1 green.
And makes creatures uncounterable.
Yeah.
Seems good.
It's a borderline card because it dies the lightning bolt. It's a completely balanced card. It dies the lightning bolt. It's fine.
But what it doesn't die to? Shock.
Yeah.
Standard.
So this means we're getting Lightning Strike back. Called it.
Oh please, they're not gonna upstate. They're
Boom.
Hey guys, we've heard of Chain Lightning as a masterpiece, but what we didn't tell you is here you go at common.
This is how you kill Serpopard. But yeah, so I mean, green gets another card like counter. There's not that many counter spells in the current meta other than Disallow, so maybe it's a plant for next block or something. Who knows?
Maybe.
Well, because I mean, like, because like it doesn't seem like it would go in black-green counters because like
No.
it's fighting for slots with Rishkar. So
Yeah. So there's another green card I'm actually really interested in because it's almost like a couple older cards that we've had. Sixth Sense.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's kind of like Keen Sense and Ophidian.
It's a little different though because Keen Sense says what Keen Sense is. It's a single green. It's an aura, and it says whenever this creature deals combat damage, draw a card. It's a little bit different from Keen Sense and Curiosity, which are like kind of like its predecessors.
Yeah.
In that this says specifically that you have to deal combat damage to get the card.
Right.
You can't just like attach it to a pinger and go nuts.
Yep.
But I mean, it's a fine card. I don't know if it's gonna. I don't think it's good enough for standard. Like it's kind of a do nothing card.
So I would like to also talk about things that actually have new mechanics.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm just gonna talk about this common real quick because Call of the Herd was really good. So obviously a white creature Call of the Herd is really good too.
Yep.
This guy is Unwavering Initiate. He's 2 and a white for a human warrior. He has Vigilance and Embalm for 4 and a white. And he's a 3/2. Now, what? Oh, go ahead. Were you going to ask me what Embalm was? Okay, cool. So what Embalm is basically it's flashback for creatures. So when the creature is in the graveyard, you can pay 5 mana and exile it, or at least in the case of this one, 5 mana and exile it, and then you get a token of Unwavering Initiate.
Is that sorcery speed?
Yes. It actually says right here, Embalm only as a sorcery. Okay. And also, one of your game day promos is True Heart Duelist, which is an Embalm creature that is 2 mana for a 2/2 that can block an additional creature, and it embalms for 3.
So Wizards was just like, you know what card people really love? Back from the Brink, which is pretty much this whole mechanic in a single card.
Yeah.
I like the Embalm mechanic because, like, for example, like, there's that card you mentioned, and then there's also True Heart Duelist, which is a 2/2 that can block an additional guy.
Yeah, just said that.
Oh, wow.
I said that was a game day promo.
Well, yeah, you have that one. Like, and that card actually does seem like it'll be okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem terrible.
I mean, of all your 2/2s for 2, like, that seems like it'll be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait to read the design article where they're just like, you know what card they loved? Back from the Break, which was a bulk rare in Innistrad.
Yep.
It's 4 blue, exile a creature card, or it's 4 blue rare enchantment from original Innistrad. Exile a creature from your graveyard and pay its mana cost, put a token on the battlefield. That's a copy of it. But what's unique with Embalm is that some people were putting on their tinfoil hats and saying Devotion might actually still be a thing because the tokens do not inherit their mana cost.
Right.
So, effectively, when your creature dies and you get it back with Embalm, it's no longer devoted.
Yeah.
So, some people were saying it would be interesting if they did that exclusively for the gods and no other cards in the set because, like, it feels like it would be, like, kind of... Because the gods are supposed to be like this alien force that you're not supposed to completely be able to comprehend. So having a mechanic like Devotion power them would be really interesting, and not having it on any other cards like on Theros.
Yeah.
And like people love Devotion, even though it led to one of the slowest standard games of all time.
Yeah.
Let's watch a 3-hour green-white matchup. Yeah,
that was fun. All right, so
pack a lunch, folks. We're gonna be here a while. But
I want to go ahead and talk about the other promo.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Glorybringer. He's 3 and double red for a dragon. Obviously, rare.
He's a Dargan.
This is the foil promo, the top 8 one.
Right.
It has flying and haste. He's a 4/4, but he has more text.
Yep.
You may exert Glorybringer as it attacks. When you do, it deals 4 damage to target non-dragon creature an opponent controls. Now, exert is you can keep it tapped after your next untap step.
Yeah, basically what you're doing is you're essentially frosting your own creature to get some extra work out of it. But what's unique is that exerting itself does not tap the creature.
Right.
So if you can find a way, let's say, to give Glorybringer vigilance, you can exert and then not worry about it because it won't. Yes, it won't untap, but because you don't tap it in the first place, it doesn't matter. Also, I think this mechanic might be broken because this finally gives Paradox Engine a reason to be played.
It does, yeah.
Exert my Glorybringer, kill your guy, deal you 4.
Next turn.
Second main, play anything, untap my Glorybringer, go.
I actually feel that you would want to go, like, you would just play the Glorybringer, attack with it, and then exert it.
Yeah.
Then main phase 2, either play the engine, because it's a 5 mana, so you can curve right into it.
Well, but it won't untap from the engine.
Well, that's fine. You just play something on turn 6 on curve. Or you just blow up the world minus the Glorybringer. Crux of Fate's a thing. Nah, I'm just playing, not the standard. Now, there's one more new mechanic. And I want to go ahead and talk about it. These are the consequences.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I don't know if we mentioned this the last time. But there's a card that's a split card. I like to call it a 1 1/4 split. Yeah. So, this is Dawn and Dusk. So Dawn is 2 and actually this is Dusk. Yeah. It's 2 and 2 white for a sorcery. Destroy all creatures with power greater than 3. Now, Consequence is only able to be cast from the graveyard. And this one is Dawn. It's 3 and 2 white. Return all creatures that have power 2 or less to your hand. Yes.
Hand?
It's hand.
Okay.
No, it is hand.
Okay.
Yes. Now, the reason why this is important is because, like I said, it's a new mechanic, but you also have to exile it from the yard because of the consequence. So you get 2 different spells in one, just like a split card, but it sort of has flashback.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's real interesting, like, having a board wipe at 4 mana is kind of a unique thing, because Wizards said, like, no, we don't want to have board wipes at 4 mana, they're too good.
This is really conditional.
But that's just it.
Yeah.
So time will only tell to see if it's actually good enough.
Well, this beats the green-black token deck. Well, the green-black counter deck.
Well, I mean, it's not like that deck didn't already have problems.
Yeah, thanks, Haley.
You ruined everything, you crazy cat lady.
Now, since we've talked about that, I'm just not even going to guesstimate what we can see with Consequence.
Yeah,
because this is just too weird.
Like, at this point, it could be anything. It could even be a boat.
Why buy the singles when I could buy the box? That could even have the singles I needed.
Right?
Alright, so, there is another promo. And this promo is very important, because this has a returning mechanic on it.
Yeah.
Archfiend of Ifnir. Ifnir. It's 3 and 2 black.
What about if far?
Then it's 8 and 2 black.
Okay.
Yes. So
What about if modern distance away?
then it is 5 and 2 black. Alright, so he's a creature demon. He's your buy a box promo, so he's rare, has flying, and I didn't realize this before. This is funny. I was actually not going to mention the returning mechanic until I got to the bottom and I mentioned power toughness. So he's a flyer, and whenever you cycle or discard another card, put a -1/-1 counter on each creature your opponents control. He has cycling 2, and he's a 5/4. Gentlemen, we have one of the greatest mechanics ever returning back, and it is cycling.
Break out your stabilizers, folk.
Oh my god, fluctuators are going to be awesome. They're going to be everywhere.
Yep.
Yep.
But, he seems pretty cool, like, especially if we get a lot of cycling cards like our last spoiler.
I forgot there is one more card that has a mechanic on it.
Or should you say 5 cards? Because...
Well, I was actually mentioning something else.
Oh, well.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. But we'll talk about these. They're cool.
But, yeah, so one of the big things that we just saw, like, I think it was like yesterday,
Yep, yesterday.
was we are getting a set of cycling duels.
Legitimate duels.
And we're not talking tap lands, folks. We're talking tap lands with land types.
And we're talking tap lands with land types and cycling.
Because what we have irrigated farmland, fetid pools, canyon slow, sheltered thicket, and scattered groves. Now they are rare lands with both of their relevant types. They're only ally color ones that we've seen so far. I wish they would print enemy colored duels already, because we got tangos and then we got these. Obviously they tap for their 2 respective colors. They all enter tapped. Like it's not conditional. They will always enter tapped.
Yeah.
But they also all have cycling too.
Yeah.
Now, Dredge players just got over their Dredge players just like went through all 5 stages of grief of losing Golgari Grave Troll, but now they're back, baby. And so is Scape Shift.
Now, with every set of new dual lands, we have to have a discussion. What are we going to call them?
Well, I mean, like...
First off, I'm not going to use the one that I suggested yesterday that I got yelled at.
Yeah.
Because apparently it was homophobic. Who knew?
Well, I mean, like, right now, like, everybody seems to be saying cycling duels, which, I mean, is...
That's boring.
Boring, like...
Boring. Alright, so, all in favor of bicycles?
It's too wordy, because then you have to say bicycle lands, and that's one syllable.
Or you could just say bicycle.
Because who would get confused when you're talking about bicycle and Magic?
Yeah, exactly.
What can you confuse that with?
Queen would get confused.
Okay.
See, like... He got it.
Yeah.
We got it. That's why I stopped talking.
Don't get mad at me.
I'm not.
Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
But yeah, the like bicycles is a thing. Like, I was gonna call them sip ties.
Huh. That's funny, actually. See,
sip ties, because that's two. See, that's 2 syllables.
Yeah.
So you can go sip tie lands.
Yeah. So, should I say what I called them yesterday?
Probably not.
Okay, cool.
Even though I think actually the thing you referred to is like a land, like some kind of like a land or geographical form. I'm gonna have to ask.
It is.
But none of the lands really look like that, so I don't think we can get away with that excuse.
I mean,
use that as
their duels and their cycle lands. So you just remove the C and make it a D, and you got there.
No, I don't think Dip Thailand is gonna work. But I like them, so
yeah, they're neat.
I mean, like, obviously it gives commander players another land to fetch for in your various decks.
So what you're saying is we also have to change the Y to an I.
Yeah, that was kind of the plan.
Yeah,
okay.
Because otherwise...
Then it is homophobic.
Yes.
Oops.
I mean, I'm excited for them. I can't wait to have like 30 of them in my binder because I collect dual lands now.
Yeah. I can't wait to see somebody cycle this and then like, we'll cycle one of these and then go Life from the Loam and get like 3 lands back, and then they go cycle, get their Life from the Loam back.
Speaking of which, it's too late to jump on the Life from the Loam train. They're already $30.
Yeah, I was not looking forward to picking them up when they were $10.
But now you're really not looking forward to them.
Well, I wasn't looking forward to buying any Magic cards right now anyway, so this is perfect.
It's great. But yeah, so
yeah.
Was there any other cards you wanted to go over?
There was one, and it was because it's all the way at the bottom and it's an artifact. Forgot all about it.
Oh yeah, that goofy thing.
Yeah, this goofy thing. So we've got Oracle's Vault. It's 4 mana. This is your release promo. It's an artifact at rare. For 2 tap, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Put a brick counter on Oracle's Vault. Now, it has a second ability. Tap, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost. Activate this ability only if there are 3 or more brick counters on Oracle's Vault. That is neat.
I like.
Really neat.
Well, see, one thing that they're doing with the new set now is one of the token cards that they're making is a punch card.
Yeah.
That has little cardboard, like, -1 tokens and bricks.
Yep.
So,
it also has, Exert.
It has Exert. And I want to say it also has, the other one.
Embalm?
Embalm.
It might.
Well, just because, like, There's also saying that they're printing embalm tokens for
Yeah.
every card that has it in the set.
Yep.
Which means we're probably going to have like 20 extra tokens versus what we had normally. That's going to be a long article. But,
Okay,
so brick counters are kind of interesting. Like, I mean, it's just another counter that you can abuse with Snack.
Yeah, I think it's neat. I would like to see what they're going to do with that.
The snake is just like a really, like, he's a construction foreman. When he shows up on Almond Kid, he has like a hard hat, and he's like, "Get in line!
Instead of using
I
an
want
actual
this
whip,
wall up yesterday!" And he has a real thick Boston accent.
instead of using an actual whip, he just lashes his tail at them, and he wears a little hard hat.
And to let people know he's coming, he like shakes it. He has a little rattle, and then you hear the rattling coming down like the way, and he's like, it's like, oh god, the boss is back.
So
I didn't tell you could take no lunch breaks. And now he has a Texan accent and he's wearing a cowboy hat.
well, I mean, you could just quote Blazing Saddles.
I mean,
That would work too.
we could, but
Yeah.
why not quote good movies?
Yeah, I saw that. No, that is a good movie.
I
It's
know.
a really good movie.
I'm just taking pot shots at
Oh,
Seth
okay, cool.
because it's fun to pick on him.
Yeah. So now there is a really big reprint. Like, I mean, really big.
Oh, really?
Yes. The reason why I say that this is a really big reprint is because this guy's only been printed once. It was in Future Sight as an uncommon.
Yep, a good old $16 uncommon, I think, a lot before this got spoiled.
And he is Aven Mind Sensor. It's 2 and a white for a Bird Wizard at rare, so he got bumped up from that. Has Flying Flash. Well, Flash and Flying, I mean. And then if an opponent would search a library, they search the top 4 cards of the library instead. And he's a 2/1.
Woo! Not relevant in standard.
Not relevant in standard except for Evolving Wilds and the 2 D8. Seems fine to me.
Which I don't think any of the 3 top decks plays right now.
Now there is another big spoil that has like really casual ideas going crazy right now. We got Fling.
I mean, make Pummeler great again?
He's definitely not building a wall, so.
But he made Delirium pay for it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
But yeah, Fling is back. Like, 1 in a red instant, probably a common. Sack a creature, deal its power and damage to target player.
Yeah.
Like, Fling has always been like just a solid limited card, and then here, like we were saying, Pummeler, you could rebuild Pummeler with it. Play Pummeler, like, swing at them for whatever amount you pump for, then they block or have some trick or something, and then you just fling it in response and kill them anyway.
Get out of here.
I like it.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
Like,
I can get on board with it.
yeah, so I think that's it for Amonkhet
Yeah.
right now.
I mean,
spoilers start on Monday, so
we got the pre-cons, but those are like leaks. I'm not a big fan of it.
I'm not like huge on them either, especially since the Lily in that costs $7. Like, that's kind of nutty.
Yeah, it is. I think obviously they won't see play, but it'll still be nice to pick up the 2 pre-cons.
So before spoilers start, do we want to call any predictions? I'm gonna say I don't think Bolus is in this set. I think he's an hour.
I think that was already announced.
Well, I mean, like, he was on the pack art for hour, but like I thought maybe that would just be like a big Bolus spell or something, because you know how Cruel Ultimatum was.
I think Dark Intimations is getting reprinted.
What is that?
The really bad Bolus card that was out of Ether Revolt.
Yeah, I don't think that's getting reprinted this soon, but and I mean, hey, that card's not bad in Grixis Spellslinger EDH, because it's mini Cruel Ultimatum.
Right.
Like, and even mini Cruel Ultimatum is still good, because Cruel Ultimatum
still
was just,
beating.
like...
Yeah,
not
I don't
gonna
really
make
have
that
anything.
joke, but
Yeah.
anyway.
I don't really have anything. Anybody else? No? Cool. Alright.
Yeah.
So, Modern Masters.
Loving it. Like, not my favorite draft format of all time, but definitely...
You get out of here.
Well, if you'd let me finish that statement. I was going to say definitely in my top 5.
Not good enough.
Not impressed.
Like, I would say it's like an A minus. Because a lot, like, it is pretty balanced if you're not getting, like, hard cut on a color. like all the decks have a chance to win, but there are certain archetypes that seem to just be better across the board, like they're easier to build and
Red,
stuff.
green.
No. So basically,
Well, I only knew from my one experience.
Modern Masters 3, it seems like a lot of the power cards are in your blue and white section, and depending on what you build, you can take it one of two different ways. If you slant toward Esper, you can do, because the blue-white core is blank.
Yeah.
So that means any creatures that do stuff when they enter just get tons of value. Yeah. If you slant toward black and make it Esper blank, then you're on the value train. Like, Dinner of Horror, which was an uncommon in Gatecrash, common here, saw no play in Gatecrash because it was a 6-mana 4/4.
Yeah.
Here, it's backbreaking.
Yeah, it's
like
really freaking good.
Because if you top deck a Dinrova Horror, if you and your opponent are on top deck, it basically says destroy target permanent for 6 mana on a 4/4. And if you blink it, that's just like value on your value town.
It's way better than Desert Twister.
Yeah. Like, this is a Desert Twister that gets up and attacks.
Yeah.
But like there's that going on, and then like you have the other decent black stuff. Like Moroi. Like he's a value flyer, isn't he? Like a 4/4 that flies.
I think that's something like that. I don't really remember.
And then there's the Esper Gargoyle, the artifact creature that's
Tower Gargoyle.
Yeah, Tower Gargoyle. That's a 4/4 that flies.
Tower Gargoyle.
So you just get value flyers, and then and then you also get Agony Warp.
Yep.
Which that card is disgusting.
That card's a beating. It was back in
like
Alara too.
And you get the draw spell. That's basically they mill 2, you draw 2 for 3, like a better divination. But like that's what you get if you go Esper. But if you decide to change tracks the other way and go into Bant, you take green instead. Then you've got blank tokens. Because in this set, with all they printed all the good splicers. The only splicer I don't think they printed was the crappy 7-mana one that gave them trample. Like, that card wasn't that great.
No, that card was actually terrible.
But, like, because you can blink all your splicers, and, like, if you get some of the value ones, like the Wing Splicer, or God help them if you get a Blade Splicer, because that's just, like, cruel.
That's...
And then, not only that, you have Soul Warden at common, Centaur Healer at common, Call of the Conclave at common. Like, your token decks, and there's enough token support, like Populate was reprinted in the set with stuff like Druid's Deliverance and Sundering Growth. You just get so much value out of it. It's crazy, and you just run them over. And then, like I said, if you get the Soul Wardens or the Centaur Healers, you just gain so much life that the aggro decks can't keep up.
Yeah. Like I said, I only got to draft it once, but your PBTQ, I showed up like round 4 or something because I had to help Cole move, and starting round 5, I started going around, just whoever was just chilling out. I was like, hey, let me see your pool. What'd you play? Blah blah blah. And then like I would actually sit there and rebuild their pool how I would build it, and then I would just play a random pickup match with somebody, and I was just running people over.
Well, I mean, it's like, the thing is, a lot of the stuff, I like that they managed to spin the format, because it's mostly Return to Ravnica, if we really look at it at its core. I love how they managed to spin the format so that you can basically just, like, all the stuff that wasn't good in Return to Ravnica and Gatecrash is good now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Dinrova Horror is kind of the poster child for this, because he was, like, a last pick card in Gatecrash, because he was so slow, you just died everything before you could even get to 6 mana.
Yeah.
But, I am loving Modern Masters. And I mean, of course, I've gotten some real nice pulls. Like, my box was pretty good. Got a Tarn, a Catacombs, and an Arid Mesa. And I also got a Blood Moon. There's one other card I got that was pretty good. What was my good mythic? No. Crap, I don't know why. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I've had my hands on a lot of product lately, so it's been. I did get two bulk mythics. I opened a Domri and a Sphinx's Rev in my boxes. Right.
Sorry.
That's how I felt.
I would like that Sphinx's rep though.
I already put it in my collection.
Oh well, never mind.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
So sorry.
It's okay because the one draft I got to do was the one last Saturday.
I was gonna say, like, Devin might have one hanging around somewhere. 'Cause, like, it's
Yeah.
only like a $2 mythic.
Yeah. It's no big deal. No big deal at all. Anyway, see,
I never.
the only experience I've had with it other than rebuilding people.
Oh, I got a Cavern of Souls. That's what I got.
Oh, well, how about that? I forgot about that one.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. So, I got the draft last Saturday, and I first picked the Lingering Souls. And I was like, I'm going to go white, black, something. This deck's going to be nuts, blah, blah, blah. I immediately got cut off third pick. So I just started taking red cards. And I ended up having... I still have the picture here. Because I actually, I took my deck home, even though I wasn't supposed to. So, I keep on kicking your foot, I'm sorry. But I know you like it. But I got 3 Scorched Rosalkas, 1 Burning Tree Shaman. I got 2 Spike Jesters, one of which was foil. I got 3 Mud Button Torch Runners, of which one was a foil. I got Cathari Bomber, which that card was a beating in Alara draft. I got 2 Magma Jets, 3 Giant Baiting. What? How do you do that? I got an Augur Spree, 2 Chandra's Outrage, a Thunderous Wrath, and a Call of the Herd. Oh my god. The deck value is like $5, but it was a beating. It was a Scorched Rosalkas.
Well, see, it's unique because all the archetypes in 3 colors tend to, shift and play well with each other. Because, like you were saying with Giant Baiting, if you go Naya and you have the populate stuff, you can populate your Giant Baiting tokens, and then you keep the ones you populate. They don't pop.
Yeah, exactly.
So...
See, what I was doing was I was hoping to curve into a Giant Baiting and then have an extra mana up so I could throw one of the tokens with my Rosalka.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there was a couple times where I went turn 5, I played a Giant Baiting, and I threw both of them at my opponent and hit him for 10 total.
Seems good.
It was really good. I think I did that to Toby, and he had a wall against me.
I think my favorite game I got to play was I was playing against Cody in the PPTQ, and I was on green white populate, and he was playing Grixis stuff.
Yeah.
And he goes he mulls to 6. He scries, sees his top card. He's like, okay. He plays a mountain pass. I play plains or something pass. He miracles a Thunderous Wrath and bolts me for 5. I'm like, okay.
Right.
And then he plays a land and passes.
Yeah.
And I play my second land, play Lone Missionary.
Oh.
And then he's like, okay. And I get my 4 life back. And then next turn, he draws, flipped another Thunderous Wrath, hits me again in the face for 5. And I'm like, okay. Plays another land, plays a 2-drop of some kind. Go. I'm like, okay, draw, play my 3rd land, 2, second Lone Missionary. Won that game soon after because the rest of his hand is garbage.
I would assume so.
But yeah, so that's how I survived 2 Thunderous Wrath, which probably would have killed you in Avacyn Restored.
It probably would have. And the best part is you negated 8 damage there.
Yeah, I
That's
know,
ridiculous. Yeah, 2 commons should not negate 8 damage from 2 commons.
Well,
it did.
We lived the dream, my friend.
Yep.
Too bad the rest of that pool wasn't that great. And I did Grizzlebrand, and I was like, and I didn't get to play the Grizzlebrand because you can't splash for quad black.
Sure you can. You just have to be crazy.
I'm only crazy at home. So anyway,
I'm crazy everywhere.
But yeah. Speaking of value, last night, man, that was great because I was like, Devin, you better give me good packs this time. I'm tired of buying packs and getting nothing out of them. So Devin hands me my 3 packs for my draft. I open my first pack. It's got an Abrupt Decay in it. I'm like, okay.
That's good.
Well, I mean, I wanted one for my collection anyway, so I first pick it, and then I end up going green-red because I got past 2 Madcap skills immediately. And I was just like, okay, I'll just play green-red and I'll splash for black for the Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
Pack 2, Snapcaster Mage. I'm like, okay, well, I just made my money back. Take the Snapcaster Mage, pick up some white stuff along the way.
Right.
I was like going back and forth between going Naya or Jund, so like I ended up going Jund because I ended up picking up a couple other things I liked a lot. Pack 3 open a Scalding Tarn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, well, okay, we're just doing this now. Take the Tarn, obviously, like pass it along. Although I was gonna say, Bill, you had you paid for Nathan, and Nathan got a really like good pack, but you had to end up giving up something because he opened a pack that had a Verdant Catacombs in it
Ooh.
and a foil Inquisition of Kozilek.
Oh.
Yeah,
I opened a foil Blood Moon.
he did open a foil Blood Moon during the draft.
That's pretty. That's really pretty.
Yeah. What's good? What's really good? Foil Blood Moon and Tarn, baby.
Yeah.
And then Dimitri ended up trading me a Snapcaster or trading for my Snapcaster along with one of my Kalidases, and he traded me his Goyf.
I don't get to see the snake eat the pig.
Nope.
This is awful. This is the worst video I've ever seen. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry I was boring you that much.
Oh no. I was like on Facebook because I was messaging Jeff that we're going to draft after we were done recording, and I saw this come up on my feed where a boa constrictor was fed a baby pig. And I'm like, I want to see the snake eat the pig because obviously snakes like bacon.
Well, snakes like anything that is meat. Delicious.
Snakes are American.
Like that python that ate the guy in South America, I think it was.
Well, I mean,
That
like
was a cool video.
once they take down their prey, snakes have been known to eat adult zebras, which are basically horses.
Yeah.
So yeah, eating a man is not that surprising, honestly.
Zebras are horses that are in jail.
Or maybe they're just like avant-garde horses.
Ooh.
Like maybe some kids from Oregon were just like, hey, we could design an animal, and then they just like create an animal with a slightly different color scheme and then call it original.
Speaking of Oregon, now this is for the sports fanatics out there. This is the first trip that the Oregon Ducks have had to the Final Four since the first year of the NCAA March Madness tournaments.
I was gonna ask, how's your bracket looking?
I got knocked out completely.
Huh?
I think I don't even have anybody in there now. The upset of the Ducks against Kentucky is what killed my bracket. So
I mean, I didn't think WVU was gonna end up losing to what's it called?
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga. Yeah, like me and my friend were watching the game, and like WVU just played like crap.
Well, yeah, the fix is in, man.
Yeah.
Well, also WVU's never been good in anything like title game wise.
Yeah, their football team's okay.
Eh.
Just ask, what's his name? That was quarterback. Pat
Yeah.
White.
Pat White and Geno Smith.
How he only played one play in the NFL.
Yeah.
And decided to retire.
Yeah.
He got laid out.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Who did he play for?
Dolphins.
Ah, that's right.
Yeah, the
He's
Miami
like, oh, and then he's like, you know what? I'm done.
Miami Dolphins, they're a big joke now, but I mean, they were the only NFL team to ever have a completely undefeated season.
Ha ha, Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots. Eat it, Tom Brady. Anyway, so
Do you have the ball compressor here somewhere? The air compressor for the balls? We might need to send one of those. Yeah.
anyway, so back to Magic.
Yeah.
We should probably get back to that now.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, Modern Masters 3 overall has been pretty good to us. Like, I like the format a lot. Like, I feel like there's a lot of different things you could build. Like, obviously, I think Blink is a little better than the others. But truthfully, like, if they don't curve very well and, like, you're able to keep pressure on them with a removal, it's not that bad. You just have to have a good level of threat assessment, which, like, now that we're slowly, like, catching up to more modern legal sets in Modern Masters, like, or, well, I guess I should say, like, more, like, we're getting closer to the threshold of Frontier, which is not a format. Like, Fetch, it's not happening. But the idea is that by having these sets catch up, people are getting better at playing Master sets because these are cards they've played with. Like, this Modern Master set, this was the first time all the cards in it, other than, like, the stuff from Time Spiral, was stuff I played with in the standards of their day. So it's really interesting to see those cards like reimagined as a new set, and like certain stuff is better than it used to be, and other stuff is worse.
Yep.
But yeah, I like it a lot. Like I think Wizards did a great job with this set. They put value up from the top to the bottom. All the new art's pretty cool.
Yep.
Like there's value. Like most of the value in the set is concentrated at rare rather than mythic. Like and there's commons and uncommons that are worth a little bit too. Like I even availability is good. Like you can get a box shipped to your door pretty consistently for less than MSRP.
Yeah. Which is something because of all the value that you can actually crack from it.
Right? For
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
I mean, I think prices are going to continue to drop for about the next month, and then they'll like kind of flatline.
I
And
know,
then once like people stop cracking it like crazy, it'll start going back up.
my distributor, or one of my distributors, is wanting to charge. They told me $170 a box for me to get, which is a lot more than the $129.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So you're not gonna get any of those in for a little while?
well, we'll try to get some.
Yeah. That's still ridiculous though.
So I'd
$50
see what I
markup.
can get from Wizards first.
50 wholesale. They're not the wholesale of $50 markup.
Yeah, I mean that's the market economy, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Modern Masters.
Modern Master's great. I like it a
sold
lot.
a lot of it.
Like I have no complaint really. Like other than the still like I just wish they would just print these sets at regular prices. Like that's all I like.
I would be okay if they went back to Modern Master 1 prices, which was $7.
But they were never gonna hold at $7.
No.
Like they would go back. Like I think it's fine that they upgraded it to 10. I just wish they would just print it like a standard legal set and just go down to 4. Like just sell and just print a lot of it because like we don't have like we have the reserved list, which kind of gives WotC a because a lot of people complain about it, but it also does kind of like benefit WotC in that they can say if like somebody complains about a future card that gets reprinted to death, like let's say because Damnation was worth a lot, now it's like $20.
Yeah.
They can be like, well, we have these cards that you could have invested in because these cards are protected. We're never reprinting these.
Yeah.
So you can't get like even if you had a case for us, which you don't, but we're just playing devil's advocate. Like if you had invested in these cards, then these would have been safe. We would never reprint these, so you would be safe to put your money in them. But you can't put your money in the rest of the cards because they're not on this list. And we tell you what the list is. It's not like we're hiding it from you. You can go look it up on Google right now.
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know. I just wish it was cheaper because I want to draft it more.
Yeah, I can see that.
Or at least make it 36 packs a box. Like, if you can't take down the price, at least charge the box price like normal and make it 36 packs.
And it would also make it to where the boxes weren't, like, that goofy trapezoid
I
shape.
hate that. Yeah, that annoys me too. Especially since they, they do put, like, a block in the bottom to, like, raise them up a little bit because it doesn't fit in the box.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, that's not a problem exclusive to Magic. A lot, like, even sports cards have that, where they'll, like, have their booster box and then half of it's a styrofoam block to make the box look bigger.
Yeah.
Which I think is the stupidest thing in the universe, but anyway.
Marketing.
Yeah.
It works.
It does work. It does work a lot.
Yeah, somebody who gets paid more than I ever will decided it was a good idea, and hey, them's the breaks.
Yep. Alright, so everybody enjoys Modern Masters.
Absolutely.
It's a cool set.
I've
Kills
really
aliens.
enjoyed drafting it. I think it's pretty well balanced.
Mhm.
I like drafting it more than most of the standard sets.
Absolutely. I usually do too.
Alright.
So we got one last thing. Just a small little detail.
I'm working on a new website
Yay!
for the store.
Yes.
It's up right now. There's nothing on, no inventory online. I just need to update all the information. But it's still ClutchGamingLLC.com. It'll still take you to it.
Still good stuff.
Go check it out. Looks pretty sweet.
It's cool, dude. Well, other than that, I think we're basically done.
Yeah.
Sorry for taking 3 weeks off.
Yeah,
We've just been busy and sick.
we got life stuff, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Like, share, subscribe.
Like we'll try. I mean, we're gonna try and We're gonna try and get back more often.
We're gonna try to get decals on NASCARs.
Dogecoin.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We are in talks with Dogecoin.
I mean, well, Gordon's not a driver anymore, but I
No.
think he's an owner.
He is an owner.
Maybe, I don't know. But I went to high school with someone who's on a pit crew.
Nice.
So I'd be like, hey, when you're out there changing that tire, slap this in the car.
Just slap it on the tire, and then like 2 seconds later, it gets like instantly disintegrated.
So how much does $200 get me? This little square right above the tire.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all we need.
We'll just be the Ultra Pro of NASCARs. We'll just have tiny little like annoying circles on
That would
visible
work
parts of the
great
car.
if you pay off the camera guy to zoom in on your little logo as they're coming around the corner.
Yeah.
I won't do that. I'd lose my job. What about for a pocket burrito? Pocket burrito?
Pizza boomerang.
Oh, God. I really hope you show that to your friends at work.
I did.
It would make me happy.
I did show it to them at work.
Pizza boomerang was awesome. Don't watch it. Don't watch it, children. It's not for kids unless you're
I think it's fine.
unless you're Spanish, apparently.
I think it's fine.
Anyway, alrighty, folks. Well, until next time, thanks for listening. We are out.